synopsis on the transformation challenge. If you've been following, I had a 40 days to 40, that was me turning 40, but I decided to do something nice, share my knowledge and motivate and also help some women. So I put out a challenge which was helping anyone who actually needed it. A few people signed up, actually a lot of people got in touch, but eventually I selected two very, very strong, amazing ladies. What was important was that they would stick to the challenge, that they were open to lifting weight, because my concepts are all based around weightlifting for women. So they were okay with all of those. We ticked the right boxes, no pre-existing conditions that were too risky or dangerous. They have had some experience with fitness in the past, not always very good. So I wanted to change their mindset, change their lifestyle, and show them that fitness is actually quite interesting, exciting, and not that hard. Plus, it makes you feel awesome and it's really strong. I mean, I love it because I just feel so strong, so especially lifting weights. They've had lots of experience in the past with cardio, and they did a little bit of cardio because, of course, they were on a transformation challenge. It meant that they had to change their body composition. So it's not about the weight, it's about the body composition that's important. So because of that, they did a bit of cardio, but now after completing 40 days, they don't have to do so much of cardio. Anyway, to summarize again, the 40 days transformation challenge, if you have seen the results already, I've posted those. So there's a good summary on the number of inches and the weight lost as well. Big difference between Ruchi and Vijita. So those were the two candidates I eventually selected to do the challenge. The reason I chose two was because it just felt like it would be nice to have somebody else going through it all with you and enjoy the company as well. So I enjoyed the company, I enjoyed hanging out with them, so we were a bit of a team the whole time. We motivated each other. They made me feel like I was achieving something by them working so hard and also learning quite a lot from me. So that was most important. But when you look at the numbers, you will see that there's a big variance between Ruchi and Vijita. Now, to start off with Ruchi, just to explain her starting point, and Vijita as well, what was her starting point like. So for Ruchi, from her starting point, she has done quite a lot of activity in the past, but she had not done anything in the recent past. So off and on, she has gone to the gym, she's done a little bit of activity, she's a mom at the end of the day, so she does have some commitments as well. So a mom to a young child, Vijita is also a mom, but she has older girls. So Ruchi's daughter needs her quite a bit more. And she hasn't done so much of physical activity recently, but she tried. And this was after a long time of really doing something consistently that she started out with the transformation challenge. So that means, of course, her body was not under stress quite recently. Stress meaning she did not do so much of exercise where her body had to go under stress and go deep into muscle building and also replace fat with muscle. So for her, you will notice that the inches were quite a big difference because also the other thing was that she was eating quite approximately within the same macros that she should have been, but of course the distribution was off. So the calories were quite similar, but the distribution was off. It was a little heavier on the carbs and a little lower on the proteins. So she had to add more proteins to her diet. It's not like it was a very heavy protein diet, but she had to just add more proteins to make it balanced. That's about it. Because eventually at the end of the day, we need protein to build muscle. And if you don't have enough protein, you're not going to be able to synthesize the muscle. Your body can't build that muscle. So you won't get this good, strong, nice muscle when you work out. Because after you work out, you want to build the muscle. That's what's important as well. Vijita, on the other hand, and one more point to note about Ruchi. So if you look at the numbers and you look at her weight, it's very clear that her weight is almost the same, but you see the inches have really changed. So there's quite a big difference in inches, but the weight's almost the same. And why is this, you might ask? Stay tuned, I will tell you at the end. That is a very, very important point. That's something that everyone should look at. all the time, and do not look at that scale because the scale is very inaccurate. With Vijita, the difference was that Vijita's starting point again, she had done some yoga quite recently, so I think it was like December, January or so. She did quite a little bit of yoga then, and she did it quite consistently. So she already started to build some strength from those movements and doing it consistently. She was not eating as many calories as she should have been eating. You will hear that in her video, and also I've written that in the description on the summary of the numbers. But Vijita was not eating that many calories. She was doing a little bit of intermittent fasting for religious reasons, also just for health reasons. But at the end of the day, even if you're doing intermittent fasting, you still need to eat a certain number of calories, because if you go too low, then it means that you could have hormonal imbalances. And at the end of the day, especially if you're doing weight training or you're doing any kind of training, it means that you don't have any energy for your body to build that muscle. So imagine that you're trying to drive a car on no gas, right? That doesn't work. So Vijita quickly realized that she needed to fuel her body and fuel her body with good healthy food to be able to lift more and get stronger quicker. So she started at about 5 kilos or so, and she very quickly progressed and got stronger, and I saw the changes quickly. Of course, COVID-19 came and we had to remotely continue with our challenge, but it meant that she was not able to lift as heavy as she potentially could have, but she still did a lot. I mean, she was lifting the 5-gallon water cans, those really big ones that you use on the water coolers. She was lifting those for her bench presses. She was lifting those for her hip thrusts. So she did at least those 2 movements for sure. She used the 5-gallon water cans, which is pretty awesome. I mean, to begin with, just with the liquid in there, it needs a lot of instability. So she was using a lot more core as well to engage and stabilize her body at that time. So I was very impressed with being able to do those 2 movements with the 5-gallon water can. So she surely got strong, and she will continue to get stronger, because with her also her protein was lacking along with number of calories. As soon as she started to increase her protein, she also started to get stronger quicker. So her progression in strength was much quicker, and her starting point was also higher. With Ruchi, her progression with strength was also there, was also really good, but it was a little bit slower because she didn't have any recent activities that created that muscle already and started to build it. So it always depends on your starting point. Do not compare yourself to anyone else. Big differences on starting point, differences on food, your lifestyle, your diet. Of course, with Vijita, she was working the entire time also. So she was balancing her workouts and her work times also. With Ruchi, she was balancing her family life and also her workouts as well. So all of these things make a big difference to the outcome. And whatever plan it is that you decide to choose, also think about the fact that you're not going to get the same results as the person next to you. So these 2 ladies did they did exactly the same workout for 40 days, but the results are so different, and you'll see that. And they're very happy with both of the changes, because eventually they learned so much, they've made lifestyle changes, they understand the why. That's very important. Why are they doing it? And why are they doing those particular movements? They're not just jumping around like bunnies trying to lose weight, when you are actually doing slow controlled movements and you can build muscle. So one of the important reasons that I said there was a big variance in the weight, and also not much of a variance in the weight, but there was such a big variance in the inches, is because, let's take for example, you're building muscle right now, and you're eating a well-balanced, healthy diet, right? It means that you're in a slight deficit, because obviously when you work out, you're going to be consuming energy. That means that your at the end of the day, the number of calories you've consumed is minus that workout calories that you've burnt, right? So you are in a deficit over there. But at the end of the day, what's really happening is you have 1 kilo of feathers, for example, and you have 1 kilo of concrete. Okay, these are the only analogies I can think of right now. So your feathers is your fat and your concrete is your muscle. Now they're both 1 kilo each, right? But what's the difference here? The recomp, which is the recomposition. The feathers are turning to muscle. So this big 1 kilo of feathers is becoming smaller and it's this. So it's this small versus this big. So you will see the inches, but eventually this is still 1 kilo and so is this. So there's not much of a change. You will, in the long run, you will also lose weight. But to start with, don't make that your primary goal. And that's the message that I've always reinforced with all of my clients and anyone I advise, anyone I talk to as well. It's not important to only look at the scale because the scale fluctuates a lot. Watch my video on Throw the Scale where I talk more about this. But the point is that we should slowly start to build muscle. And then once we have the muscle strength, we can look at what suits our body best, what suits our lifestyle best. Think about all these important things when you're setting your goals. Don't just try to copy paste somebody else's goals into yours or copy paste something that you did when you were 20 to now when you're 40 or 50. It's not going to work. You are a different person. Your body is very different. Your body works differently. So think about all these important facts when you're setting goals and also starting your fitness journey. So you don't feel demotivated because you've not hit those goals or reached whatever targets that you set for yourself. So these are very important points to keep in mind to keep you moving forward rather than feel that you have not achieved it and go back and think there's no point in anything you did. So change your mindset and then you will change your lifestyle. So hope you enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed the 40-day challenge. I really enjoyed my time with Ruchi and Vijita. And I think they enjoyed themselves too. At least I hear them tell me that all the time. They are close friends now and we will always keep in touch. So I hope that you have also learned some important points and key takeaways from this challenge. I've read a lot of studies on all of this, but now, and of course I've done it with clients also. But having done it in a more controlled manner as a challenge and a transformation, it's much easier to control a lot more factors. Of course, it's not to the point of The Biggest Loser, where you have people who are stuck in a house and you control their food and you control everything. You have to live your life at the end of the day. So you want it to be as close to your regular life as possible. So even when you set your goals, try and make it as close to your life as possible. Make small changes, set small goals, and consistently keep making those changes, because you have to keep reminding yourself that only if you keep making changes will it eventually become a habit. So it's a change and that change becomes a habit eventually. Okay, take care, keep moving and stay fit, eat healthy. Take care, bye bye.